Hi, Jason Wishlow, Avalanche forecaster for Whitewater, and this is the Avalanche conditions report for Whitewater Ski Resort, backcountryskiingcanada.com, and State of the Snowpack. So, winter has arrived, maybe, let's put it that way. It's what we've all been waiting for. And just in the last 5 days, we've seen a significant turnaround with realistically our first major winter storm of the season. Avalanche Canada currently is calling the hazard considerable in the alpine, considerable at tree line, and moderate below tree line. I think that's consistent with what we're seeing here in Whitewater. I'm currently standing in Upper Powder Keg Bowl. We've just finished control work this morning right through Upper Powder Keg and over into Catch Basin, where we were able to initiate numerous size 1.5 to 2 avalanches with explosives. And it was, very successful clean out of the recent storm snow in the last 24 hours anyway that we've had. Recent avalanche activity before even last night's storm, so things progressed, came in. We had 15 centimeters and then another 10 centimeters over the day, Friday night into Saturday. And then on Saturday we had significant winds, southerly winds blowing up to 80 kilometers an hour on the Raven Chair at the ridgetop there behind me, and that created a significant storm slab problem. So when that came in, we saw big natural activity just around in Weimer Bowl in Cougar's Claw, size 2.5. And then there was a skier triggered avalanche over here in Goat Slide, which is easily accessible out of bounds terrain. So I just want to remind people there was a person seriously injured in that avalanche. They were prepared, they did have gear, but earlier in the day there were numerous people that were skiing right underneath where that avalanche ran with no beacon, probe, shovel, anything, just sliding out. And you have to be aware that when you cross a boundary line, you're in the backcountry and you have to be responsible for yourself. So the storm has progressed and we are now sitting at about 75 centimeters of storm snow since it started snowing on Friday. And it's come in at relatively cold temperatures, and even with wind, the snow has managed to stay reasonably unconsolidated. Higher up elevations, you're definitely seeing more slab development. And then last night we got another 20 centimeters, and that kind of sat on top. So when our explosives control today, we were able to initiate avalanches only within the recent storm snow from the last kind of 36 hours. It didn't step down much lower to the avalanche that, to the layer that the avalanche failed on there, which was a earlier melt freeze crust formed by the sun with some low density snow on top of it. That's what we believe it failed on. So things to watch for now as you're moving through the backcountry. The storm snow will settle into a slab, and then it may be triggered on lower weaknesses. So far, we haven't seen any significant slab development enough to fail deeper in our snowpack. We're still monitoring a lot of those layers that were formed in our relatively dry and warm and wet late November and December. So those layers are still on our minds and a concern. They haven't gone anywhere. And just be aware that once the density settles on top of that, it increases. There is a chance for it to fail lower and create large destructive avalanches. As well, when this settles, there's 75 centimeters of snow, some places more where it's been blown by the wind, and you could trigger an avalanche that could be a meter deep in leeward terrain. So be aware of that storm slab problem and that storm slab problem potentially stepping down lower. Incoming weather We have another little blip of snow coming tonight, maybe another 5 to 8 centimeters. And then the temperatures progressively really cool. And we're seeing forecast models that are telling us anywhere overnight lows in the minus 33 to minus 35 range. That's very not typical for our area. If we reach minus 25, minus 27, those are very cold lows. So if we reach that minus 35, you know, we're gonna start to see the snow facet out and change things considerably. As well, that might come in with some moderate easterly winds, so that's reverse loading, and that's something else to be aware of. But if you are planning on heading out in temperatures like that, it is very extreme, and even if one member of your party twists a knee, you've got to remember that you're in it, and that person's going to be hemorrhaging heat, and it's going to be a very difficult extraction. So please be aware that cold temperatures like that, you have to really change your mindset on whether it's worth even heading out, or maybe it's worth taking a couple days off and letting those temperatures moderate a little bit. So anyway, I just want people to continue to stay safe, follow Avcan's forecasts and pay attention to those details, and really please remember, like that terrain behind me, if you are heading out of bounds, be prepared with training, follow the daily process, have all your necessary gear, so if something goes wrong, that you're prepared to deal with that situation. So stay safe everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon.